What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about Marvel's TV series, Agatha All Along. So as always, please sit back, relax, and turn it to 11. All right, everybody. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Agatha All Along, that stars Catherine Hahn, Joe Locke, and Aubrey Plaza. I forgot her last name for a second, but Aubrey Plaza.
Dude, you don't know Aubrey Plaza?
I love Aubrey Plaza. I never knew her real name, though.
Oh.
I just know her as other
Fair
things.
Enough.
I think her humor is pretty funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the show follows right after. I don't know if all you remember the show. It's been so freaking long ago. I thought they were going to cancel this show, but it follows right after WandaVision, where, Wanda defeats Agatha and puts her in this constant trance of being in her own TV show, right? And so that's where Agatha All Along starts off, with her being I guess it changes all the time, but in this, where we see it, she's a detective. And I thought it was hilarious because as I was watching this, I didn't know, I totally forgot that she was in a trance of her own. And I was just like, is this not real? Like, is this fake? And it wasn't until late, it has a different, like the show had a different name to it. Like the TV show that she was in was different from the actual show's name. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is not real. This is she thinks she's in her own show, which was hilarious to me. And so it pretty much follows Agatha as she tries to regain her powers because she lost them all. Wanda sucked them up and defeated her. And so we have Joe Locke, who plays the character Tenny. Is that how you spell it? Teenie?
Teenie, yeah.
Right?
They called him Teen.
Yeah. I thought they called him Teen because he was a teenager.
So did I.
That's not why his name is
his name was actually William.
Right.
His real name was William, but...
so it is because he's a teenager.
Yeah.
That she just called him Teen all the time. Actually, that makes sense. I was about to say, you're right though. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, so he is the one who helps her escape her delusions of TV cast star situation. And then she comes out of it. Then she wants to get her powers back, obviously. But there's something about this kid, Teen William, who they can't figure out. The whole show, you're just kind of like, who the heck is this kid? And every time he tries to say his name, it actually is blocked from her.
That crazy sigil.
Yeah, and she can't hear it. She can't hear what his name is. So yeah, you're kind of like, who is this kid? And you can't figure it out. Obviously, later on in the show, you realize who he is. But yeah, so she tries to go and she's trying to get her powers, and then in doing so, the only way to do it is to go down the witch's road. And by completing the witch's road, you eventually get your wish, whatever your wish is. And also, Teen also wants to join in this because he's also has something that he's trying to achieve in the end. And so to do so, they have to collect a sisterhood. They have to make a sisterhood and then go, and you have to have one of each, right? A green witch, a white witch,
protection witch, potions witch, and I don't need the other ones. So I forget the other ones.
And so there's a few things that they needed, or a few groups of people. But Agatha, being Agatha, she doesn't have a sisterhood because she's killed them multiple times.
The covenless witch.
Yeah, that's the word, covenant. She doesn't have a coven. Right. Yeah. And so, the whole show is her trying to collect these people who know who she is completely.
Yes.
And they don't trust her at all because she has a reputation and it's not a good one.
But she knew how to pick them, though.
Oh, she knows them. She's been around for a very long time.
Very long time.
Although the oldest lady in it, the one who can tell the future, even older than her.
Yeah.
She's definitely older than Agatha. She was around freaking during like the Renaissance.
Oh, that's what she... Oh, yeah. Well, Italy.
Yeah.
She was in Italy. Yeah, that's right.
So she's been around way longer. So, so they do get on this road, the witch's road, and they have to go through trials and succeed at them. And in doing so, we'll open up another one and open another one. And I think they have to do so many. I forgot how, was it five? Yeah, because there's 5 people.
There's 5 of them, yeah.
So there's 5 people, 5 trials that they have to go. And each trial, I guess, is specific to one of the characters. And it was good. I enjoyed the show a lot. I didn't think I was going to like it, to be honest with you. I was my wife was like, oh, we should watch it. I'm like, do we have to read it though? But actually, I enjoyed it. Can I just start off by saying that the song "The Witch's Road" was so
awesome,
addicting. That was such a great song. I'm like, I would, after the show would end, the episodes, I would just sit there and just hum the song to myself. It was such a great song. I loved every second of it.
Every time you see "Witch's Road," I want to sing it. You know
yeah.
That's my shower song right now. You know, like down the road. Down the witch's road. And it's crazy because there's like 3 iterations of that song.
Right.
There's the one that they sing like as a folk song. Then there's the one that the mom sings, the protector witch mom.
Yeah.
I think her last name was Wu, I forgot.
Alice?
Alice's mom, yeah. And then the third way was when they all did it a cappella as a 5 group. That
was so good. When they're trying to open the door to the Witch's Road and they're like singing in a cappella. I was like, oh man, I'm just enjoying the song. Like let's go at it.
So good. And dude, they did Miss Hart dirty. They did her so dirty.
They sure did. They did not give her a chance.
Wouldn't it have been funny if she made it to the second round? Because that's where they were in the 70s.
Right. It would have been great if she made it all the way to the 70s.
Yeah. And I didn't expect her to die.
Neither did I. I didn't think anybody was going to die.
Yeah. Oh, no, people died.
Sure. For sure.
And there was a lot of cool things in each trial. The first trial had to have been Miss Hart's. Had to have.
Because it was all about drinking in
a big kitchen just talking, the talk, whatever you want to say. And I was just like, who's, because, everyone has their own trial, right? You had the 70s one, which was actually Alice's one. No, it wasn't Alice's one. Was it Alice? Oh, the curse.
Yeah, because it was the curse.
And then there was the Agatha's one. Which one was Agatha's one?
Was it Agatha's, the last one? No. The last one wasn't Agatha's. The last one was the older one.
The High Priestess? No, they were in that little dungeon with the lights above it, the growth. Oh, that was the Green Witch's one.
Yeah.
Which one was hers?
Agatha's was
the 90s one. The one that Alice died in. The one that Alice died in was...
Oh, yeah, because it was about her mom.
Yeah. Agatha's mom was there.
Yeah.
In that house.
Yeah.
And then the one with the cards, the tarot cards.
That was Lilla? Leah?
Oh, yeah.
Lilia?
Lilia's one, yes.
Yeah. Lilia.
She was I liked her character a lot.
I loved her.
In the beginning, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. Her character is crazy. Her episode, which was like the second to last or the third to last episode, her episode was amazing. The work that went behind that was so good. We'll get to that part. But her character, you appreciate her so much more as you get to the end of it.
Yeah.
Amazing work. It was so good. Agatha, I hate so much with every fiber of my being.
Yeah, throughout the show, man, she was just kind of whack.
She could not she could not stop being herself. Like that conniving evil person who's always trying to up one everybody, make sure that in the end she gets what she wants out of it. I'm just like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, can't you see that people are dying? Like, you're trying to get through this road, but you're constantly sabotaging it for one reason or another.
And you remember when the road opened up and then she looks into the camera before it goes to the credits in the first time they go down into the road? She goes like this. She's like looking down at the road and she looks up at the camera.
Yeah.
She smiles. And I was just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing, oh. But then at the last episode or the last twist between Teen and Agatha, you see, oh. And then that's where her backstory of her son and her, makes sense. It's just like, I didn't understand why she would hate the Green Witch while the Green Witch loves her, right?
Right.
And then I was just like, she's a death. Is she death or is she the Green Witch? Because if she's both, then I was like, it's very tough because I was like, wouldn't that make all green witches the same, right? And that's why, we said earlier whether she's death or not. Because if she is death, that means that there's a new character for Deadpool. And there's no way for Thanos, but for Deadpool. Because she falls in love with Deadpool too in the comics. If she is death, yeah.
I would imagine she is death. Mm-hmm. I thought she was death. I mean, that's how it's implied at the end of the show that she is death, right? Because she's the one who came for Agatha's son, right? Which was super sad. Like that episode about her son. She's like, "Can't you just give me time?" It's like, "I can give you some time." And then I was like, "How much is some?" Mm-hmm. You don't specify that. And I think the kid, he was probably like 11.
Had to have been.
Somewhere around 10, there, 10, 11 years old. When Death, what's her name?
Aubrey Plaza? Oh, in the show?
Yeah, Rio. When Rio comes to the son, and she just like, come on. And he just gets up. Doesn't even struggle with it. He just gets up. He's like, all right, let's go. He kind of already knew what was happening. Yeah. What was going to happen to him. That was sad. I was like, oh, no wonder Agatha. But I was going to say no wonder Agatha turned out the way she was. But she was like that before her son.
With her son. Her son helped.
Yeah. Even though the son never really wanted to, he hated doing that to the other witches. But yeah, Rio's character, I enjoyed it. I mean, Abigail? No, that's not her name. Damn it. Aubrey did a great job playing Rio. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed a lot of things she's in. I think she just plays really good characters all the time, most of the time. And so, but the way she played real character, when she comes after Miss Hart dies and she comes out of the ground, I was like, oh, that's creepy.
I actually love Aubrey's acting because of her eyes. She acts with her eyes, and
she does have really big eyes.
And so you see where she was just like, I'm less the Green Witch and more the Green Witch, right? And she had the eyes all big. And then there's a time where Agatha says that she hates her. Like, she hates him, even though they were lovers. She hates him. And then she, with the big eyes, she like slowly bats it, like very small. You can see like little crinkles, or not crinkles, what is it? As a movement, little small flaps behind it that suggests that she's about to cry, right? But because her eyes are so big, it doesn't look like it. But because of that little flutter in her eyes, you definitely feel that pain, especially when she has a hood and she's like understanding that Agatha hates her. Yeah. As if it's her fault. She's like, I'm not the one killing this kid. I'm only doing my job as a Green Witch.
Heck, I gave you time.
Yeah, right? And I'm just like, come on. You can't, but Agatha's selfish, so this was what it was. And that's why I was just like, you're right. Aubrey Plaza played that character, Rio, so well. And her eyes played a large role, especially when she wanted people to listen. Because even Alice and the High Priestess girl, Jen, they're like, I don't know if I should be afraid of her or get her number. And they're like, I know, right? And I'll just like, it's one of them loose cannons, or not loose cannons, one of them wild cards. There you go. That's what Mihawk called Zoro and Luffy, wild cards. Out of every witch that was in the main cast, I did like Lilia the most because of the twist. One, majorly because of the twist, and the other is because of how technically she put everything in motion.
Lilia?
Lilia knew who she was. Or she knew he was going to get into it. And the other thing is when they went into her episode and they started talking about, or when she started going to her teacher, and she's like, where have you gone? And she's like, went far. And then she's like, how far? She's like, centuries. And then, I was just like, holy smokes.
It makes you think, like, did anything just happen, or is this what's going to happen? Right. It's all happening at the same time for Lilia. Her character, I agree. Her character was fantastic. She was, first of all, she was like that motherly character. She just cared about everybody. But and she was also that kind of like that kooky character, but she wasn't kooky because she wanted to be. She was kooky because you just didn't understand what was happening to her. And then, I mean, let's just get into it. Like that episode, her episode, all the pieces just fall into place, and you realize everything she said this is how many episodes long? Is it 9 episodes? Everything she said, 7 episodes, for the last 7 episodes that were random things she was saying weren't random at all. they were purposely said for a reason, and it wasn't until episode 8, I think that's her episode, if I remember well. It wasn't until her episode that you realize that all these things she was saying was connecting to the moment in episode 8. Like the random thing she was saying was because she was saying it in the future and got kind of like cut off and then said like the half end of the sentence in the present. Right. And so then people were like, what? You know? It's like, it just kind of blows your mind. It's like the maybe because I'm not a writer. And if you're a writer, then you probably have a better understanding of this. But as a non-writer, the idea that you can have all this foresight, right? It's like, this is where I want it to end. Let's see how I can get there. And you create all of this so that it all fits together beautifully at this point. That's such good writing, in my opinion.
Dude, you know, it's not about the show, but I think you should listen to a song called Permanent Holiday by Mike Love.
Okay.
There's a part where he sings, he sings 4 different parts. Each part is different syllables, and they all create, you gotta check it out. That's
Permanent Holiday?
Permanent Holiday by Mike Love.
I'll do that right after this.
It is awesome, and it is incredibly well written, and it reminds me of everything you just explained about writers on Lilia's character.
Yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. She was just having like random episodes that were just like, oh, this is part of her power probably. And then obviously it was a part of her power.
Right. She just didn't want to accept it at the time. Until that moment. Right? She has, because you kind of like think about it, like she had the 4 names or the 5 people that needed to come on this trip. Right? It's like, oh wow, she could tell the future. Yes, but it's also because she was there. It wasn't like just a premonition. It was like she was there and then accidentally wrote these names in the past, right? Because she's always connected. And then like you said, in the end of her episode, it was, where did you go? Very far away, right? And you're just kind of like, whoa, did you even go anywhere? Like, so are we even in the present,
right?
Or are we back in Renaissance Italy, right? So it's pretty dope to see that, and she knows. I mean, she already knows like how her life is going to end. Right, which was super sad. Also, I also enjoyed it, and I think we should I enjoyed that each one was a different kind of witch from the Disney movies. You had or from Disney in general, right? You had the Wicked Witch of the West. You had I forgot her name from Sleeping Beauty. It starts with an M. Maleficent. Oh yeah. You had one who was Maleficent.
That was teen.
Yeah. You had technically, I mean, I guess she's a witch. You had the fairy godmother, right? Which was
Lilia.
Lilia was the fairy godmother, and I think that was it, right? There was only 3 people. Oh no,
Jen was there. She was like a voodoo. Or no, she's not voodoo. She was the witch that gave Snow White the apple.
Ah, yes. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty dope, right? And what is it they said? It's like, I like that Agatha was like, yeah, they modeled the Wicked Witch of the West after me, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
And then Teen goes, prove it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I that was that. Lilia's whole thing was great. Also, the Covenant that was chasing Agatha around, that wanted their revenge, creepy as all get up.
Yeah, they were scary.
Scared me.
They were scary. And then it was funny, they were like walking straight like this, and then they tilt their neck like that. I'm like, oh, they're
terrified. I was like, nah, man. The less we get to see these characters, the better.
Let's talk about the High Priestess, Jen. She was in a different type of witch altogether.
Yeah.
She had lost her powers because she said someone took it, or she was bound.
Right.
And in the end, you find out that the person who bound her was Agatha all along. and then at the end, you know, obviously she completes the road. And then she leaves with her because she has her powers back. And I'm just like, okay, that's cool. And then when you find out later on that Teen, or Wanda's son, is the reason she has her powers back, it just kind of shows how much more powerful he is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, holy smokes, you know. And the fact that, let's travel back a little bit. I kind of skipped some stuff.
You sure did.
So Teen,
spoiler.
Teen, well,
if you haven't watched it,
I already said Alice died 15 minutes ago. But Anyway, so we're talking about Teen. Teen, his original name was William. And William and his parents were on their way home and they get into an accident outside of Westview. And during that time, Westview was going through their issues. Runes was in the air, or Runes was in the sky. I don't know if you remember that. And because I had to watch WandaVision so I can like kind of align it. But when Wanda was fighting Agatha, she was creating runes throughout the whole area, right? And she made those runes to where anyone who's in this space, the witch who planted those runes are the only one that can use magic in it, essentially making Wanda the most powerful witch in the space. After that time, when she exploded the space, the car got into an accident, and that's when Billy disappears and the brother also disappears, as well as Vision. When they all disappear, that red wave went through William, and that's where Billy sat in his
it kind of took over his body.
Yeah. So they still share. Well, I don't know if they share memories or if it's just Billy in there now.
Billy, I think. That's a good question.
Because I don't know if he's 100% integrated, but if it is, then it's too bad for William. But I mean, they got in a mean car accident, and
that kid died.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
William died.
I feel like William died.
William died. I think that was the reason why Billy was able to inhabit his body, right? Because
right before he like the body was no longer in use.
Right. Yeah. Because if you have to remember that in the last episode, Tommy, right? Because in the end, what Billy wants is his brother, right? He's trying to find his brother, so that's why he went through the whole road to see if he could get his brother out as well. Well, the only way to do that is to take the body of someone who's in the process of dying. Tommy does that with a kid who's drowning. We kind of see that in a vision of a kid in the water drowning, and Tommy takes over his body. So that's now the end of the show is Billy looking for that kid so that they could be together again.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the whole thing. And obviously with Rio's like, yo, this can't happen. You're dead, and you don't like the William is dead. And you technically don't exist. You're a figment of Wanda's imagination. So you shouldn't even exist at all. So that like Rio's whole point, the whole reason Rio's here is like partially to get her vengeance on Agatha, but also she needs to take away the children, because these two kids, Billy and Tommy, are not real people. They're inhabiting people who shouldn't even be here anymore.
Yeah, and that's why Rio wanted to take the teen. Because she can't kill the teen, because then he'll reincarnate, which he shouldn't, because he shouldn't be here.
Yeah. He
has to get himself to say, hey, I don't belong here.
Yeah. He has to give himself up.
Yeah. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And Teen's twist was cool, or William's twist was cool, because the road never existed.
Yes, correct.
And I'm all like, hold up. And this is where I'm like, wait, how strong is this kid? I mean, I understand he's Wanda's son. And Wanda was stupid strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was a menace. So I'm just like, okay, so he was able to create the road. Lilia told him, so you can make things, or you can create things and have it come to reality.
Yep.
And I'm like, really? Like, what does that mean? What does that entail? And you see that he was able to give powers back, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right. Is Agatha really that all powerful? Because it looked like she was just kind of like she was just a witch by the name. How would you say it? By the stereotype. She was a stereotypical witch.
Yeah. Which
was funny too, because Lilia and Jen had a conversation when they were dressed as fairy godmother and the Maleficent, and she's like, we can be culturally
appropriate,
angry later. And I'm like, why would she be culturally? Like, I was like, who is Jen? And I'm just like, the only person that came to mind was the Apple Witch. But that is Maleficent, which was teen. And so I thought to myself, I was like, I didn't really watch Frog and I. What is it? Prince Frog?
The Prince.
Princess Frog? Prince Frog?
Princess and the Frog. The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. I never watched that show. So I don't know if she's from that character, because I was just like, I don't know.
No, because the bad guy in that is it's a dude.
Top hat, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Is he the only bad person?
He
doesn't have like an army or people underneath him.
I'm sure he does, but not in the same sense that you're thinking of.
Yeah, no. because I was just like, I don't know what culturally
because they're
representation she had.
Because they're witches. And the way we see witches are like evil, ugly, and like warty and whatnot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Disney ones, but I thought they were like kind of parallel to them, right? So that's why I brought up Princess and the Frog. But if they're not, and they were just supposed to be like inclinations of or stereotypical versions of witches, then
yeah. That's what it was.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then absolutely. Then yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I was like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, the witches. That. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. But anyway, the road being built by Teen was insane. I was just like, dang, he created a road for witches to become real witches.
Yeah, he just made everything up.
He just made it up. Now it exists.
Yeah.
So if witches want to go down the road,
down the road, down the witches road.
Yeah, it's gonna show up, and I'm all like, that's cool. I was just like, imagine how much more witches that can come out of that. But then, you got to watch out for, was it Mandu? Not too much sorcerers.
Oh.
This is going to be too much witches. Who knows? Was there anything you didn't like in the show?
Let's see. Did I didn't like that Alice died. That was super sad to me.
Yeah.
It's really, like, what really bothered me about her dying was, like, you finally lift the curse from her. And then she dies right after. I'm like, Come on, man. What kind of nonsense is that? Like, the woman has been struggling her entire life. She's had this issue with her mom because she thought her mom just treated her a certain way because she hated her. Not understanding that her mom, that was the most, I think it was also really beautiful if you thought about it. It's like, the mom made the Witch's Road song famous for the simple reason because the curse is associated with the song, and as long as someone is singing that song or that song is being played, her daughter will never, the curse will never like take full effect on her.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and I was like, that's pretty dope. And she obviously Alice realizes that in her episode, right? But you just kind of sit there like you see her struggling with her mom and what. The whole fame and her kind of going to kooky or whatever. Yeah. And then realizing, her mom created this song for her, made it like famous so that her daughter will never have to suffer the same way. And you're just like, dang, that's a mother's love right there.
And then you find out.
And then she dies.
Yeah, she dies. And she's like, what's going on? And she talks to Rio.
Yeah.
She's like, why did I die? I finally got the curse lifted. I can finally live my life. So you died protecting Agatha.
You died doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah, you died protection. You're a protection witch. And she's like, and I'm all like, ain't that something? I was like, that's gotta be the worst luck. Man. Yeah. I was like, who told you to be that? Huh? It's like, get your money back. Bro, I was just like, huh?
Can I be the potion witch, please?
Yeah. I was like,
she came out of it unscathed.
Yeah.
Actually, she came out of it better than anybody else.
When you go back into that reincarnation ooze, whoever you got to meet at the at in the front desk, be like, yo, send me to potions, or do not send me to the time one, protection one, or green one. I'm good.
Right, because everybody else dies.
Everybody else dies, or the White Witch. Wait, no, White Witch was Lilia, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And when Jen flew away, I was just like, oh, her powers is very much like Wanda's, and I was just like, how powerful is she? Because she's called the High Priestess, which I thought was the coolest thing. I think it was Lilia. Was it Lilia? Hi, Your Highness. Or High Priestess. Like, I'm like, huh? Whatever the case is. Oh, and also, Jen had the products, her makeup products.
Yeah.
And they're like, we needed petroleum. And Lilia's like, no, these are known to not have those. And she's like, and so she bought all of them. She's like, they don't have petroleum? Da-da-da. They're like, she's like, yes, they do. She goes, all right, put it in. Snake oil is what she called it.
Yeah.
I think for me, with something that I didn't like in the show, I don't think there was a lot in it that I didn't like, that made any significant choices in the show. I think the fact that Miss Davis or Miss Hart?
Hart. Hart is what they kept calling her, but she had a different name.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Miss Hart was I was like, why was she chosen? And I was just like, you had the kid already, but I guess he was underage. I guess there's an age limit. Got to be at least 100 plus. Whatever the case is, I was just like, Miss Hart is not that old. Anyway, they chose her and she died after the first trial. And I'm like, what was the point of her being in this show? But I'm a fan of her because of that 70s show. So it was really nice to see her, especially since she's always so, naive and bubbly and kind.
Yeah.
That makes her character kind of lovable. So I guess that'd probably be my only gripe in the show.
Her dying kind of sucked. Yeah, I agree. When she died, I was like, "Why you gotta just kill her off like that?"
Yeah,
I didn't expect anyone to die to begin with. So the fact that she died so quickly, I was just
she was the first.
Kind of threw me off. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" But yeah, that was a bummer for sure.
I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, even the neighbor, the dude that's always outside in his yard. And he keeps seeing things happen above Agatha's house.
Yeah, he's just like, I gotta get out of this.
Yeah,
town.
I was just like, bro, move.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that were in Westview when Wanda was taking over, they stayed. Which, if you watch the end of WandaVision again, they all ran out. Because remember, at certain parts where the magic wasn't strong, they're all just like, help me. Yeah. Help me. I was like, yeah, it's freaky. It's freaky. Well, I guess... You didn't have anything else, huh?
No, I wouldn't say so. I thought for the most part everything was well. Like just the people dying, especially like Lilia and Miss Hart dying. It was like, oh, that's super sad. Right? Oh, and Alice. All three of them dying was just sad because I'm like their characters really well. Mrs. Hart was just sad because she was an innocent woman who had no idea what the hell was happening. But for the other two, it's like they died doing something great. And then obviously Lilia just freaking owning it in the last episode, just doing the card situation and then killing all of those revenge.
Salem 7?
Yeah, the Salem 7. I was just like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Good stuff, woman.
Yeah. I was just like, you couldn't dodge? You couldn't dodge?
Some of those fell. You could have stood.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no. She fell onto the swords, right?
They all fell upwards towards the swords.
I was like, you couldn't change the card, but they all fell. I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
I was like, you should have taped them, Tape them and be like, zoop, and then you just go back and they all fall down again. I feel like she could have saved herself if she was able to prop herself on top of the table and then just kind of figure out where she could land without dying. But here we are. And her ending wasn't necessarily death, but more of her beginning. Where she's like, welcome to your class. Let's get started. And she's right there propped up. I was like, that's cool. That's cool. I was like, that is a cool way to go. And in the end, you see that Teen makes like a grave for the three. Mm-hmm. Miss Hart, Alice, and Lilia. You see them all their names engraved in the ground, which is funny because all you will see is like if the house should ever get demolished, you'll just see names there, just like
right.
And I don't know. I just think that this show, I feel like it could have been longer. 9 episodes is weird. It's almost like they're doing like Japanese dramas. Japanese dramas, they used to do 13, they went 12, 11, 10, and now they do like 8 sometimes. And I'm all like, what's going on with the miniseries? I was just like, the length of each episode is the same, but it's almost like the story is cut up. And then now you have like things like Drama Box where you have like minute episodes, but if you want to watch the next episode, you got to get 50 coins. Negative.
That's not happening.
Whatever the case is, the show was all right. I mean, if I were to give it a grade, I'd give it a B.
Yeah.
A solid B was good. I mean, the song really did it for me.
Song was the best part for sure.
Yeah.
I remember just walking there like, down the road, down the richest road. And I just sing that part over because I had no idea what the rest of it was.
Yeah. And the harmonies, I was trying to hit us with the harmonies. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's real good. It's real good. I should probably look around and see if anybody, covered it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I would definitely want to see. I want to see it covered live, though, more so than anything. Because I think it'll be, I feel like more intimate that way.
Yeah.
And then I would just love to just have like a bunch of people with laser pens just kind of like go underneath them or something like that.
Yeah, no, I also give it a B. I think B is a good grade for it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It took a long time for this show to come out, though. I hate Agatha's character. I think her character is still annoying. She's just a selfish person, but that's who she is. It's been Agatha all along.
And there's rumors that it was canceled. I hope that's not the case.
A second season?
Agatha All the Way was canceled after the first season.
Oh.
I mean, I was like, I don't see a reason for the second season, but, you know.
I mean, I guess you really don't need a second season. I would say, obviously, the only reason why you would kind of need a second season would be to find out what happened to Tommy and to see what happened to the high priestess. I forgot her name. But
Jen?
Jen. Yeah. Like, that's really the only reason. And you could have done both at the end of this episode.
That's true. And
Agatha being a ghost is stupid.
That was kind of dumb, yeah. And it's weird, though, because Agatha was also Wanda's teacher, but it was cool to see her as Billy's teacher.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, is that kid, is Billy going to be the, you know, in the future? Like with...
Well, Billy's an actual character. Billy is...
both of them.
Wiccan is his name. The character...
Oh, Wiccan.
Wiccan is the name of Billy's, like, superhero name or whatever you want to call it.
And then Tommy...
He's
like, a speedster.
Yeah, he's a speedster.
I wonder if they're going to be in the MCU in the future. That'd be cool to see them.
I can see it, but you kind of have to find Tommy if you're going to do that, right?
I mean, that's what he's on a mission to do, right?
Right. No, but if you don't have a second season, then you never find Tommy. You get what I'm saying? You kind of have to find him.
Not really, so there won't be a second season, but you can still find Tommy in another story.
I mean, true, but you have in some way you have to introduce Tommy into the story. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. You can't just have like this mini Avenger group and then Tommy just appears. You'd be like, what the heck? Who's this kid?
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
He kind of has to be introduced before, whether it's through a different show or a movie or like a side quest of Billy finding him to a different show. You know, whatever. I don't know. I agree.
Good point. Well. That's going to wrap up this episode. Follow us on IG, Facebook, Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, and TikTok. You can catch all of our video content here on YouTube. Please leave a review as it will help our podcast grow. And join our community on Discord. Thanks for hanging out with us. And don't forget to turn it to 11.